Good morning, everyone. I pulled cards this morning, what's going on in 45's mind today, so I will pull cards on Biden here in just a second. But what I have with 45, let me move these over so I can get these out from under here. At the center of it, of course, he's in the mind spin of sitting there with this stuff, not wanting to believe it, not wanting to take it in. This is, I don't want to see it. I don't want to take it in. I'm stuck in my belief system. That's where he's at with that. Underneath of it, of course, the same thing with the actions. Not actually moving on a lot of stuff, but looking at it, okay, looking at the actions that are coming, going into it, trying to find a strong defense, something that he can grasp onto, okay? A new idea, a new strength that he can try to pull in. Because the challenge is, he's sitting with this, he's retreated, he's no longer in the active things, and he's in that mass of loss, feelings of loss. So, not a lot of active things today, sitting with stuff, not wanting to take it in, isolating himself. I don't want to believe it. I want to come up with some sort of a new thing that I can grasp onto and say that it's a strength, okay? All the while facing loss and being retreated. In there by himself down by Mar-a-Lago. So let's look and see what we have for Biden. The center of it, looking at some new actions, some new things being put out there, the message about moving forward, okay? That's above it. Below it we have, really just sitting with this loss that he's feeling, the emotional things that are, I think it's coming down with the document thing, wanting to take action, wanting to put out another message, and just trying to sit with this and figure it out. How all did this happen, and looking at it. So going into it, we have looking at what he's got on the table there with him. And justice, okay? So holding to what he knows, looking at all this stuff, and of course, working with the Justice Department. The challenge is, okay, what is being offered up? What's coming out there? And struggling with that. Struggling with this stuff that's coming out, okay? Again, it looks like he's sitting and trying to figure out, how did this happen? What's going on? Giving what he can give, what he knows is what was there, and of course wanting the justice, feeling like he is in the crosshairs, okay? With this, and again the challenge is really not liking the harvest of what is coming there. Underneath of it, feeling a bit maybe out in the cold with things. Looking at the abundance of things that are there. Working on this. And it's revolving around, 45 is in his head today. 45 has got space writ because, it feels like something is there that 45 is going to try to use to spin. Looking at the actions coming up, wanting to temper this. Here we have Biden, okay? And who's Biden looking at? He's looking in the way of this, and this feels like to be the GOP drama, their greed and using anything they can to spin stuff, making it look much worse than what it is, okay? That's what they're trying to move forward, presenting more fishtails, okay? And we have this journey walking away. I think this could be the feeling of Biden wanting to walk away. Or it could be also the Repugly Uglies wanting to walk away because this is, nightmare scenario for both sides, really. And this is the energy of this stuff that they're struggling with, and he wants to bring it to balance, wants to bring out what happened, what's going on. So on one hand, when this stuff happened with Biden, I think it's like an honest mistake, something that happened. I still have that reading that there was somebody involved in this, okay? And it could be during the Obama time that this was somebody making their mark, somebody that was connected with the Russia stuff, okay? Yeah, I still feel that this is some planted stuff, okay? Now, it's interesting because I watched Revealing Light the other day. She was getting the same thing, something with Russia, something to, we had basically very similar readings, okay? I put my reading out, when this first broke. I still feel it was somebody that had ties with the Russia stuff, that maybe worked on his staff, somebody who was paid money, and that did plant some of this stuff, that they could use for later, okay? So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But it feels like Biden is honestly wondering what the heck happened, okay? Whereas 45 knowingly took those documents, okay? Knowingly hiding them, knowingly say they belong to him. Biden never said these documents belong to me, they're mine, they're, the minute that they found out they were there, okay? And you got to kind of wonder about the ones that said they found who are the guys that found them, okay? There are some questions about that, but since it's an ongoing investigation, they can't reveal who found the documents and how they were found, etc. So again, there's still a lot that's not known about this. But this is weighing on Biden today, okay? How did this happen? Because it doesn't feel like he is actively there going to those, looking at those documents, setting that. No, something is going on underneath of it. And my first reading said eventually it will come out what was known, but it's like on the deathbed of the guy that took these things, the guy that was younger in the beginning that did this, okay? And that will come out on his deathbed, which is many, many, many years from now, as to how this was sort of set up. Okay. So on that note, I'm going to leave this here, and we'll see what happens. I think I want to pull some cards on the DOJ too. All these investigations and stuff going on. What about moving forward? When, for indictments. What's it looking like with the indictment situation? What's it looking like for moving forward with these indictments? They're waiting in the wings. Okay. At the center, okay, the nightmares. And I think this is the nightmares of those waiting for indictments. But let's see whose side that's on. Yeah, taking the action, rulership, getting this started. Okay. So what's going on with this? The nightmare of this taking action. Why are they waiting? Okay, above it. Then, not above it. This is going into it. We have this feeling of loss, despair. It's an emotional thing. Let's pull another one and see. Balance. They want to balance this as they're getting ready to put this stuff out. I think it's just this feeling of despair that they have to do this, okay? Because this is causing an uproar in a lot of different areas. Yeah, let's look at the challenge of it. A victory. The challenge is wanting the victory, moving it forward. Okay? This is something they have to put out for the people and moving it forward. So it looks like, they're getting ready to move on these things, but they're not taking any delight in doing this. This is a nightmare scenario, and just feeling heartsick that it has to be done. Really not wanting, but it looks like, the message is action is coming, okay? The message is about the action. These things have been worked on. We've got the tower moment. There's the burden of having to take this action. They know that there's going to be a lot of spin around it. There will be a lot of accusations of abuse, but this is also the abuse. It's a double-edged sword. It's the abuse by 45 and there's a Repugly Uglies, but it's also the double-edged sword, the other side. They're the Repugly Uglies and the Uber Right MAGA is saying they're the ones that are abusive by taking this action. But justice has to be meted out. So it looks like getting ready to bring down indictments, not happy about it. Definitely it's not a celebratory thing. It's a nightmare in the making is what it says. They're having sleepless nights about having to take this action. They're heartsick about having it. And just feeling the loss to some of the standing of America with having to do this, okay, is what it feels like. Feeling like they are in, feeling like in water, like it's up to here. They're almost drowning in this stuff. And a lot of pressure. It feels like they're in a place, it's a lot of pressure. just about drowning, you know, they've got their head just above water with it, but feeling a lot of pressure. It's like being in a tank with a lot of pressure and just barely having your head above water. Yeah, getting ready to move, but again, taking no joy in it, and they know they're going to have to. They know they're going to have to move, and they're going to take a lot of flack for it. Okay. So not a fun situation, but it is. They are getting ready to move on some of these indictments. Yep. So I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you online.